Chapter 189 Army in the Sky. In a majestic castle floating high above the clouds, the audience chamber stood tall, lined with rows of chalk white pillars. The grand hall was filled with angels, each bearing pure white wings, but among them, 13 stood apart, a powerful presence that made them impossible to ignore. 10 of them had 3 pairs of large, radiant wings, a mark of their overwhelming divinity. The remaining 3 bore jet black wings, kneeling in the front row with solemn reverence. These were the Seraphim class, elites of the Apostles of the End. Unlike the fallen angel Dino, the white-winged Seraphim showed no emotions, their faces unmoving, like no mask, betrayed nothing. Only 2 of them, Cagali and Vega, both recently resurrected as the Seraphim, displayed flickers of humanity and intense emotion. Their power had increased them dramatically. Not only had they been reborn as Seraphim, but they had also obtained strength far beyond their previous limits. Their master had yet to appear. Though summoned, there was no scheduled time for the meeting. Only the commander class angels, not the full force of the million-strong angelic army, were gathered, yet the room brimmed with divine tension. Suddenly, in a hushed tone that cut through the silence, Kagali whispered, "Hey, Dino, I've never heard you say you were his subordinate before." Dino, looking awkward, replied, "Well, I didn't think there was any need to say it out loud. I'm an observer, after all. It's basic practice to conceal one's identity." Kagali nodded. That much made sense. "Then you lost, didn't you? Was it really just Demon Lord Rimuru, or were his subordinates that difficult too?" That was the question that had been gnawing at her. Rimuru had deep ties to many powerful entities. Dino's job had been to neutralize the forces within the labyrinth, while Rimuru faced Kagali and the others elsewhere. Kagali wasn't aware of Dino's secret pact with Yuki, the deal that brought him to infiltrate the Octagram. His mission: monitor the Demon Lords, the primary resistance against the Angels. While Dino had a public presence, others like Pico and Garasha gathered intel from the shadows. The fallen angels had been specially dispatched to learn about the human world. Originally, it was Valdanava who commanded the angels. That authority transferred to the ultimate skill Justice Lord Michael, and then to Rudra, who borrowed the skill, but even Rudra's willpower couldn't command the Seraphim. Thus, Rudra never knew about Dino, who remained invisible even to him. But Dino had been drawn to Yuki, to his strange and irresistible power, and before he realized it, he was obeying Yuki's every command. It was more trouble than I expected. Dino muttered, voice wary. "You can't take those guys lightly. The one I fought in the labyrinth is definitely stronger than me." Sure, I was tired from constant fighting, and yeah, I underestimated him, but he was toying with me the whole time, and not even seriously. To make things worse, some of them are awakened demon lords now. He glanced at Kagali, who was staring with disbelief. "Don't give me that. What are you talking about?" Face. If our roles were reversed, I'd react the same way. Kagali could tell he wasn't joking. "That's pathetic," Vega scoffed. "You just smash enemies like that. Don't worry, I'll handle him." It must be nice to be that simple-minded, Dinah thought. Though he kept the comment to himself, there was no point in saying it. Kagali sighed while Pico and Garasha frowned at Vega's idiocy, but no one corrected him. It was pointless. Silence once again filled the room. Kagali quietly reflected on Dinah's words. She, too, had gained the power of a seraphim, and in secret had awakened as a demon lord. Yuki had poured 10,000 souls into her demon lord seed, allowing her to acquire the ultimate skill, Dominion Lord Melchizedek, the power of absolute rule. Yuki had given her the title of one of the 4 fiends of the Heaven Commanders, his elite fighting force. Dino and Vega were also among the 4. The identity of the 4th remained a mystery. Perhaps today someone would reveal it. Still, Kagali pondered Dino's claims. If he had been overpowered by someone in the labyrinth, even so, she couldn't obtain the anticipation that bubbled inside her. The overwhelming power now surging within her, she was certain the chance to test it was near. "Just you wait, Leon," she thought with a smirk. "Next time, you'll be the one crying." Was she weaker than Dino now? She didn't think so. Even if Dino had been outplayed, Kagali was confident. Her strength surpassed that of an awakened Demon Lord. Perhaps even Demon Lord Leon wasn't a threat anymore. She waited for Yuki to appear, her thoughts buzzing with expectation. Vega, meanwhile, did not think. He simply waited. He had power, overwhelming, monstrous power. Having devoured a seraphim, he fused with its strength. The skills he'd accumulated meshed together, evolving him further. Through defeat, he had found new strength. Vega was the embodiment of pure explosive force. As Yuki's creation, he could absorb, combine, and enhance various skills, evolving into a monster made for battle. He had gained the terrifying ultimate skill, evil Dragon Lord Ozzy the Haka, a destructive power that dwarfed many others. It was catastrophic. Vega didn't care about control, and perhaps that's why he could wield such power. He didn't overthink, he simply did. He stood silently, awaiting orders. His only purpose, destroy everything in his way. Dino lowered his eyes in quiet thought. How did it come to this? He wondered. No wonder how often he asked himself he found no answer. Long ago, he descended to the surface under his master's command. At the time, he hadn't even had a sense of self, but eventually he became self-aware. He'd asked Pico and Garasha, and they too had awakened their egos around the same time. To become a demon lord, Dino had relied on Ramirez and her secret method to attribute conversion, degeneration from wholly demonic. It was troublesome but necessary. His two companions hadn't needed to degenerate, yet followed him anyway. Strange companions indeed. After their master disappeared, Dino watched and waited, faithfully observing the world. He had to see the end of the game between Guy and Rudra. His loyalty never wavered. He believed his master would return no matter how long it took. Then one day, he felt it. A familiar brilliance, a soul he knew instantly. His master had finally returned, but something was off. His master couldn't act freely, bound by some unknown constraint. Still, Dino continued his role as observer, offering quiet help where he could. He had done well so far, fulfilling the one instruction his master had given him: cooperate with a young man named Yuki. But the problem was his recent failure, the attack on Ramirez. He had no desire to kill her, his benefactor, but the labyrinth was a threat. He had aimed only to seal her away with deep, hypno-eternal sleep, not to end her life. Still, he failed. And on his regenerated right hand, a blue butterfly mark had appeared, perhaps a curse, perhaps a restriction-type ability that would explain why he was allowed to escape so easily. Dino sighed internally. Just after that failure, his true master had awakened. Dino felt crushed by the need to report his incompetence, yet relieved and overjoyed by his master's return. And with Yuki, at least, he could be honest. Sorry, I failed, he could say with a smile. The longer Dino delayed making his report, the worse the consequences would be. And just as he feared, his anxiety proved justified. Hey there, Dino-kun, how have you been? That voice, more dreadful than any devil, rung inside his mind. The demon Lord Rimuru. This is bad. So it really was a skill-based system, huh? No matter what he tried, the mark of the blue butterfly wouldn't disappear. In fact, it now shone even brighter than before, as if to signify that the ability had fully taken root. He had managed to hide it under a bracelet, but that only concealed its appearance. The effect remained. Is that you, Rimuru? Yep, you guessed it. It's me. Me. What do you want? I'm busy, you know. Despite not wanting to hear him, Dino responded to the voice echoing in his head. Nothing major, just thought we could have a little chat, Dino-kun. Seems like you were itching for a fight, weren't you? I heard your colleague even targeted my town, not just the labyrinth. Normally, that would be a serious offense, but I might be willing to overlook it this time. Seriously, what's the catch? Oh, nothing too complicated. You're on Yuki's side, right? I'm going to war with him. All I ask is that you stay out of it. I could have used you as a spy, but I wouldn't trust the intel anyway. I mean, even you would feel a little guilty about betrayal, wouldn't you? Huh? So it's not a threat. If you lie, I'll know, and it's the same even if the facts change after the fact. Got it? Dino understood exactly what Rimuru meant. Changing the report after it was given would invalidate it. Rimuru wasn't trying to control him directly, but he had, from a distance, secured the power to determine Dino's fate. Planning a war around unreliable information was suicidal, so the safest route was to do nothing. In short, stay and eat. But then, what was the point? Isn't this a bit one-sided? What do you gain? Plenty. If you don't fight, that alone reduces Yuki's force. And more importantly, you'll serve as my contact. You're free to fight, of course, but I'd rather you stay on standby until there's an emergency. Not that I think someone trying to destroy the world is open to negotiations. I see, Dinah thought, so Rimuru planned to fight directly head-on until the end. Even though he advised surrender, he still wanted to use Dino. Naive. Or maybe that was the act. Rimuru probably didn't expect much from Dino anyway. After all, even if Yuki's side lost, surrender wouldn't be accepted. Fine, I accept your terms. I'll stay in the role of observer. That should be enough, right? And about Ramirez, sorry, tell her I apologize. Apologize to her yourself. She said she's going to use all 48 of her special moves on you. Like hell there. Like hell there are 48. She only has a drop kick, doesn't she? How should I know? That's what she said. You gotta tell her she's lying. Hey, got it. See ya. Yeah, later. See you later, huh? Oddly, Dino felt genuinely happy, something he hadn't experienced in a long while. And that was a problem. He was truly in a bind. He had no intention of betraying his creator, his master. But if he gave an honest report, he'd be erased. It was a hassle. That was his honest feeling. Still, oh well, I'm pretty useless anyway. The harder I work, the weaker I get. So if doing nothing is what I'm told to do, it's basically a dream come true. With a strangely positive, carefree, and lazy attitude that no one else could understand, Dino reached his conclusion. His expression brightened slightly as he waited for his master's arrival. That strange positivity that was what made Dino so terrifying. Then the time came. A solemn bell rang out, and the doors opened. A young man entered, followed by a celestial maiden. Both moved calmly toward the throne. The young man was Yuki, or rather the other Yuki within him. The celestial maiden had long silver hair and a beautiful, emotionless face. Her beauty resembled that of a no-mask, elegant yet cold. When Yuki sat on the throne, the maiden naturally took her place at his right. Show your respect. A dignified voice echoed across the hall. At that command, everyone present rose and lined up with reverence. Yo, everyone, long time no see, and to some, nice to meet you. I carry the nuclear core, the heart of the stellar king dragon Valdanava within me. Though Yuki and I share one body and soul, we are two minds. It's my turn now. Please treat me well. You can call me Velda from now on, not Yuki. And so began Velda's introduction. When Veldanava had married Lucia, sister of Rudra, he took the name Veldanava. Now that name would return in full. The true master of the sky castle had descended. The grand audience hall, blessed by the presence of will-less angels, basked in an overwhelming wave of divinity. Their creator had returned after a long absence. Velda had chosen to resolve everything through the Great War, a game of cosmic scale declared against Rimuru. It was the final decision of the creator, now reborn through Kagurazaka Yuki. It would be a war like none before, and yet Velda still questioned his identity. He was Angra Mainyu, the one who desired the world's end. He had drifted between worlds for aeons, ultimately settling within Yuki's soul. Yuki's awakening came when he was still in a grade school. After his parents died in a tragic car crash, that desire to destroy everything had reawakened. Angra Mainyu. Years passed, they crossed worlds again, faithfully. Yuki, having acquired the ultimate skill, Creation Lord Ahura Mazda, helped Angra Mainyu recover lost memories and forge a will of his own. Yet the power was too great for Yuki then, and so Angra Mainyu awakened as Velda, degrading the skill into creator. Now they coexisted, mutually benefiting each other. Velda remembered being the heart of Veldanava, with most of the soul passed to Milimnava, his daughter. He was what remained. But was he truly Velda, or simply a skill given form by Angria Mainyu's will? A hollow shell remained where the stellar King Dragon once stood. Still he had enough strength. He had even reclaimed Justice Lord Michael, transferred at the moment of death. His goal was simple, to resurrect Lucia, and to confirm if he was truly the heart of the one who had loved her most. He would destroy the world again and again, if that's what it took to bring her back. He collected fragments of her soul, piece by piece. The chance of success was minuscule, but not zero. And that was enough. Yuki also desired destruction, so they aligned perfectly. Now it was Velda's turn. Until he relinquished control, Yuki would remain sealed deep inside. He had even restored Lucia's body, placing within it a seraphim. She appeared just as she did in life. Justice Lord Michael animated her like a soulless doll, loyal only to Velda. Michael, having once been consumed by Angra Mainyu, retained unwavering obedience. As long as Velda loved Lucia, no harm could come to her. Lucia's original skill, Wisdom Lord Raphael, was lost upon her death, just like Covenant Lord Uriel when Velda transferred Michael. Perhaps both souls shattered and scattered. Still, Velda had revived, even as a mere heart. Bringing back Lucia was once within Veldanava's reach, but now it was a steep challenge. First, he had to reclaim all the abilities he had lost. No matter what it took, he would track down and seize Wisdom Lord Raphael, wherever it might be reborn. He was in no rush. Time was infinite, so was his life. Lucia would wait. She always would. As Velda reaffirmed his purpose, he gazed out at the angels, beings he had once created long ago. They had once consumed massive power and faded quickly, but now they had physical forms that required no energy from him. Preparation was key. The 13 apostles of the end, his faithful guardian knights. Four of them stood out, the four fiends of heaven. Former Demon Lord Kazariam, now Kagali. Vega, crafted together with Yuki. Dino, his longtime subordinate. And him, Velda's personal knight. Pico and Garasha, fallen angels, had served under Dino, but would now attend to Lucia directly. The remaining seven, the executioners, seven angels of punishment, elite leaders of the angelic army, revived as seraphim. Their souls came from powerful warriors once loyal to Yuki. Their leader was the assassin, Arios. Each bore the ultimate skill, weapon lord, masters of seven weapons, sword, shield, axe, hammer, spear, whip, and bow. Their strength alone could devastate the world. Though expressionless, the angels trembled with anticipation. Their creator had returned, and his war was about to begin. End of chapter 189.